What if I told you that the legendary Atlantis, the incredible island civilization said to vanish beneath the waves, has no archaeological trace, no ancient inscriptions, not even a single map from antiquity outside its first mention? What we call Atlantis might be nothing more than the invention of a single philosopher. Stick with me, because what you think of as mystery might really be myth. Everything we know about Atlantis comes from the pen of one man, Plato. In two of his dialogues, the Timaeus and the Critias, written roughly in 360 BCE, Plato describes an island realm beyond the Pillars of Hercules, beyond what we now call the Strait of Gibraltar, a realm more extensive than Asia Minor and Libya combined, an empire of immense wealth, advanced technology, and powerful navies. According to the story, this island existed some 9,000 years before Solon's time, as told by Egyptian priests. That would place Atlantis around 9600 BCE, long before any historically verified civilization, writing, or organized states. In Plato's narrative, Atlantis once threatened ancient Athens, cajoled its way across seas and continents, until Athens, virtue-driven though small, repelled the invasion. As divine retribution, the gods destroyed Atlantis in earthquakes and floods, sinking it in a single day and night of misfortune. Here's the critical reality. No historical source before or after Plato refers to Atlantis. There are zero ancient Egyptian records, no contemporaneous Greek writings, no archaeological evidence, no maps from antiquity placing such an island, no ruins, no artifacts, nothing beyond Plato's story. Scholars widely agree. Atlantis is a philosophical device, not a historical account. The city was never meant to be literal. Its grandeur and downfall were a moral lesson on hubris, corruption, and divine justice. Indeed, despite centuries of speculation, modern oceanography and seabed mapping have never uncovered any submerged continent or island matching Plato's description. For a long time, Atlantis remained a curiosity, occasionally referenced by philosophers and, often dismissed by learned scholars. Then, in the 19th century, a new wave arose. Ignatius L. Donnelly published Atlantis, the Antediluvian World, arguing that Plato was reporting real history, not just metaphor. Donnelly claimed that all ancient civilizations, Egypt, America, Mesopotamia, descended from this original lost homeland. That, honestly, marked the birth of modern Atlantis speculation. After Donnelly, there came a flood of theories. Some placed Atlantis in the Mediterranean, others under the Atlantic, the Caribbean, even Antarctica. Some pointed to volcanic eruptions, like that of Thera or Santorini, as the possible disaster behind the myth. Others pointed to unusual geological formations like the Richet structure in Mauritania, also called the Eye of the Sahara, as possible candidates. But, well, none of these theories has delivered hard evidence. One example stems from the comparison between Plato's story and the eruption of Thera around 1600 BCE. Some suggest that massive volcanic destruction and the subsequent tsunami might have inspired legends of a sunken civilization. But the timing, over 7,000 years later than Atlantis's supposed end, and the lack of corroborating ancient records make the link speculative at best. Another example is the rise of pseudo-archaeological works like Donnelly's. By treating Plato's allegory as literal truth, generations of Atlantis hunters began mapping every mysterious ruin or unusual island as potential Atlantis. That spawned a vast industry of speculation, books, documentaries, fictional retellings, but virtually no academic or archaeological confirmation. Atlantis isn't just a lost city myth. It's a cautionary tale about power, morality, and the dangers of glorified narratives without evidence. For serious history lovers and documentary-minded thinkers, it stands as a reminder: extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Atlantis shows how a single story, repeated over centuries, can evolve from philosophical allegory to near religion, and distort understanding of real ancient societies. In a world, obsessed with lost civilizations, hidden history, and secret origins, we really must guard against wilder claims. By anchoring ourselves in credible sources, corroborated evidence, cross-disciplinary research, and, rigorous skepticism, we preserve academic integrity while still exploring the mysteries of the past. Furthermore, the legacy of Atlantis shapes popular culture and public imagination, influencing everything from pseudo-history conspiracy theories to tourism and media. Knowing the truth behind it helps viewers, separate myth from tangible human history, appreciate real ancient civilizations, and understand how myths reflect human hopes, fears, and philosophical lessons more than factual record. So, if you're a researcher, a documentary creator, or just an enthusiast, here's my advice. Treat Atlantis as a story, not as a fact. Use it as a way to explore human psychology, myth-making, and, honestly, the power of stories themselves. Whenever you're investigating ancient ruins or submerged sites, always ask for evidence. Things like stratigraphy, carbon dating, historical continuity, and peer-reviewed research. Don't chase myths. Chase data. And if you're someone who tells stories, whether that's history videos, essays, or documentaries, make sure you frame Atlantis correctly as Plato's allegory, a myth that's shaped centuries of imagination. Use it as an opportunity to teach critical thinking, the value of reliable sources, and the really important difference between plausible history and pure fantasy. Atlantis may never surface. Not in the Atlantic, not under the Sahara, not in any ocean floor survey. But the ideas it inspired, they continue to shape how people interpret ancient history. By understanding the origins, the myth, and the actual truth behind Atlantis, we gain something valuable: clarity about human storytelling, about evidence, and about how myths can, morph into facts. And that clarity, for serious history lovers, geographic thinkers, and survivalist-minded analysts, is honestly powerful. If you found this exploration insightful, and you'd like more deep dives into history's greatest legends, their origins, their truths, and the lessons they offer, go ahead and hit like, subscribe, and check out my next video where I'll be exploring another ancient mystery